Yo, what's up everybody, welcome to another video. This is another Unreal Engine Hype Chamber tutorial, and this video is going to be how to add your own custom logo into the Hype Chamber. So we've previously gone over how to get your team into the Hype Chamber and how to change the colors, how to change the name, all that type of stuff. But now we're going to be changing the actual logo. So here where it says URL, it will be whatever your team logo is. So without further ado, let's get on with the tutorial. Alright, so we're actually first of all not going to be editing anything inside of Unreal Engine. We're actually going to be opening up Photoshop or just any type of photo editing software that you have. And I've just made a simple logo just because it's 2 T's because it's tutorial team. I've just made a simple logo just to do for this tutorial, but obviously you can use whatever logo you want. And you're going to need to export this 3 times in slightly different ways. So first of all, you want to just export this logo as it is, you know, the regular logo on a PNG background. The actual size of this like PNG square, you'd want to make it 2000 by 2000 pixels. So even if the logo is nowhere near that, even if the logo is like 400 by 400, just open up a new document, set it to 2000 by 2000, paste in the logo, upscale it a bit, and yeah, you'll get a 2000 by 2000 image. So the first thing you want to do is you want to go to File, save a copy, or at least this is how you do it in Photoshop on your computer. You can save it in Unreal Projects. This is where your actual Hype Chamber is saved. You can make a folder in here and just call it Team Logo. Open it up. I'm going to save it as a PNG, and I'm just going to call it Logo Normal because this is just the normal version of the logo. Now the next version of the logo is going to be pretty much just a black and white version. So you want to change the color of your logo to completely just white, which is like so in Photoshop. And then you want to set the background of the logo to black. So it needs to look like this pretty much. So you need to add a background and set it to white. And then again, you need to export it. So I'm just going to call it logo background because it's a logo with a background. And now you can bring the color back into your logo. And the third thing that you want to do with this image is actually a lot easier if I show you in Unreal Engine. So as you can see here, you have the Unreal Racing League logo, and then you have like this blue border behind it. Now this is actually just a regular image. So somewhere in the Unreal Engine files, there is an Unreal Racing League logo with a blue background. And all you're going to have to do is you want to replace this image with this image. So what a lot of people do is they will just get like the color that's used a lot in the logo. So I've got this green, and then they will just darken it a bunch to have a dark green background. But honestly, just because it is literally just an image in this slot here, you could put anything behind it. Like you could put a completely different color gradient. That doesn't look very good, but you know, you could really put any image behind it. I'm actually gonna find a space image, just gonna add it in and turn down the lightness a bit, and yeah, I think that looks pretty good. So I'm going to save this, and you can just call this logo combined because it's kind of the normal logo and the background logo combined. So now that we have these 3 images, we've got the logo with the background, the logo combined, and then just the regular logo, we can head back into Unreal Engine. Alright, so now that we're back into Unreal Engine, we want to actually import the images that we just made into the program. So we're going to head over, starting from the content folder, we're going to go to esports sample, then team elements, then textures, and from here we can just select our images and drag them in, and they will be imported here. Now the next thing we want to do is we actually want to make 2 different content browser tabs, just because this is a lot easier if you have 2. We're going to click back one to team elements, right click the textures folder and do show in new content browser. And then we could just drag this tab next to the first one, and we'll have 2 different tabs to work with. Next, in our original tab, we want to head over to materials. And in the materials folder, you will see a lot of different colored logos. You'll notice that each team has 4 logos. So you see this team with the skull has 4 logos, this team with the writing has 4 logos, and so on. And you pretty much want to just select the 4 logos from a singular team. It could be from any team. Right click it and then go to duplicate. And then here we will see we have a duplicated version of the logos up here. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to right click these individually, go to rename and just call it logo underscore dynamic. I'm going to call this one logo color. I'm going to call this one logo black. We're going to call this one logo white. Realistically, you don't actually need to rename these logos for it to work. It's just a lot easier for organization, so you don't have two files which are very similarly named. Now what we can do is we can double click all of these individually. So I'm going to double click the black logo, double click the color logo, double click the dynamic logo, then double click the white logo. And then we're going to head back to the content browser too. In this window, we have this section here, which pretty much shows a black and white version of that skull logo. And we want to replace the black and white version of the skull logo with the black and white version of our logo. So we just want to drag and drop it over. You'll know it's going to work if you go to drag it and then it comes up with a little green box here. If you drag it on top, you'll see the preview here will change, and then you can just save it and then close out of it. And pretty much just do the same for the rest. So you can see it's the black and white version of the logo. When I drag and drop the black and white version on top, and it'll change. Press save, close out of it. You can see this is actually the color version of the logo. So we want to use the logo normal. As you can see, it will change. Press save, close out of it. And then this uses the black and white version of the logo again. We're going to put the logo with a background on it. Press save and close out of it. Now if we head back to content browser 1, we can see that we have our very own logos with 4 different types of colors on them, very similar to all the other logos. Alright, so now that we have our images imported and we have our 4 different versions of the logo, we want to head back over to that second content browser, go to the content folder and go to esports sample, then artist elements, then blueprints, then data, and then back to the DT esport themes. Scroll down and select the tutorial team or whatever team you have. Make sure that B use custom logo actor is unchecked. It should be unchecked by default, but just make sure. Then head back to the first content browser, scroll down in this little window, and here you can see the URL logos which we're going to be changing. So for the 2D logo color, we want to replace it with logo color. For 2D logo white, we want to replace it with logo white. For 2D logo dark, we want to replace it with logo dark. And 2D logo dynamic, we want to replace it with the logo dynamic. Now if we scroll up, we will see this T logo URL hex image. What we need to do is we need to navigate back to the content folder once again. Go to esports samples, team elements, textures, and then the logo combined, which we had earlier, we want to drag and drop that onto the 3D logo texture. So it will replace the URL. And now we press save. I'm going to unpause it. And it will update to show our team logo. And yeah, you can obviously tweak this about a bit. We can see that the T is going over the edge here. So if we head just back into Photoshop, we can just downsize it a bit. Once it's downsized, we can just save it again. If you wanted to update in Unreal Engine, you need to just head back to where the file is, right click it, and then go to re-import, and it will reload it using the new version of the file. And as you can see, it's a lot better now. Obviously, you can change the background, so if you end up not liking the image background and you just want to go with the color, you can do that as well. I'm also just going to drag it down a little bit. Save it again, back into Unreal Engine, re-import it, and then we'll change it. I think that looks pretty good, so I'm quite happy with that. As you can see, if we play graphic, it is a little bit laggy, but it does work. We can even show it off in the team logo. As you can see, it's here. Press play graphic. Goes off right there. Something that's quite cool is if we go to the team hype chamber, it doesn't really matter if you go wide or close. I'm just going to go wide to show it off easier. We can see the logo is kind of like in the background here. That's what the background with the black and white and stuff, that's what is affected here. So if you want to change what shows up here, you want to change the logo with the background. And yeah, that is it for this tutorial. That is how you can import your own custom logos and add them to your team and stuff like that. If this video has been helpful to you guys, make sure to smash like down below, get subscribed. If you have any questions or anything, just make sure to join the Discord server, link in description, and I will be able to help you. In the next video, we're going to be moving on to things like how to add in a custom car. So we're going to be adding in an Octane, which is pretty exciting because then from there you can also add in things like custom decals, just to make the team a lot more personalized. But yeah, make sure to like and subscribe, turn on notifications for whenever that gets released, and I will see you in my next video. Peace.